relatives. They're able to make people believe the opposite of what's true, like a spirit who convinces you to take off your blindfold and see them because they're beautiful. And they're immortal, but that immortality requires them to consume human souls. A lot of things could really work here in the case of Bird Box. It seems like you can make a solid case from being our mystery entity, except here's the rub. They can pass through walls. Well, send another possibility through the shredder. So Charlie in the movie took a lot of shots and missed them all. Maybe he should abandon that writing project of his and instead go back to his former job. Seems like he had a lot more success there.
I'm T.S. A. We handle shit.
So now, it's my turn. And honestly, after looking at all the various behaviors of the Bird Box creature, no one explanation can truly encapsulate it all. That said, I do think that we can pinpoint the two lores that have combined to create the apocalypse that we see in Bird Box. For the first, let's look again at Gary's pictures. At first glance, these just seem to be a bunch of random spooky pictures, but upon closer inspection, you can definitely see some key themes emerging. First, the idea of exploding eyeballs, which is his artistic representation of the process of the pupil fracturing every time someone sees these entities. So with those pictures eliminated, as well as the ones of just generally scary or screaming faces, this is what we're left with. A bunch of pictures of monsters. Let's call them Horny, Tentacle Face, and Elephant Nose. Let's focus on Tentacle Face here first. It looks a lot like Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean, or it looks a lot like a creature that one would describe like this. Quote, it represented a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers, a scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind it. If you're familiar with your horror history, you'll know that Tentacle Face belongs to none other than the Lovecraftian nightmare Cthulhu, a name that I'm sure we're all vaguely familiar with, but might not know a whole lot about. So let's take a minute to talk about him. Cthulhu, created by author H.P. Lovecraft in his short story The Call of Cthulhu, is what's known as a Great Old One, a godlike entity that came from space and now sleeps under the oceans of Earth, waiting to be awakened. But not only does Fish Face fit what we see in Gary's little art project, listen to how the creator of Bird Box describes his monster.
There's a teacher who mentioned that a man would go mad, lose his mind, if he were to attempt to fathom infinity. It became like a monstrous concept to me, all right? So at some point, I started to think of infinity or something the human mind can't assimilate as a monster, and what if that idea was actually like personified? So on your front porch, infinity is on the porch swing outside swinging. Infinity is out there, and if you open the door...
Mind you, this interview